Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and CEO of SRO Motorsports, Mr. Stefan Rattel.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning in Barcelona for our annual press conference, which is held traditionally at Spa with a total 24 hours of Spa, but with the ongoing uncertainties we had in this never-ending pandemic, we had to delay this presentation to finalize all the calendars of our global operations. This presentation will be divided between four. We will present you quickly our SRO's activity globally. Then we'll speak about the series and events that have been up and running normally this year. Then we will move on to the new development we introduced in 2021, this season. And then we'll talk about what had to be delayed to 2022, but will hopefully take place next year. Before starting, I really want to welcome the ACO President, Pierre Fillon, and the World Endurance Championship General Manager, Frédéric Lequien, for joining us this weekend, this Sunday, for the final round of our European season. I've been welcome at Le Mans at the 24 hours this year, and I wanted to return the invitation, so welcome. I know you're now looking more than closely to GT3 racing, so you will see what is GT3 racing at its best for the time being. So welcome. So our global presence, we have organized, we were supposed to organize 19 championship or major standalone events. We achieved to organize 14. This resulted in 135 races instead of the 163 that were planned, plus 57 track days organized by our parent company, Curbstone. Then we operated on 4 continents instead of 5 because we could do nothing in Asia. We organized 37 different race events, and this resulted in 342 hours of racing. In addition, we're running 5 eSport championships and 41 eSport races. As you can see from this map, we've operated completely normally in America. We have operated almost normally in Europe. The only event we had to cancel was the FIA Motorsport Games because of all the participants coming from all over the world. In Asia, we couldn't do anything. We hoped to the last moment that Macau would be possible, but it wasn't possible. And in Australia, we've managed to organize the championship, but a number of events had to be cancelled, and we couldn't run the Bathurst 12 hours, and our only event on the African continent, the Kiami 9 hours, is confirmed. One big important step in our company is the sustainability. We said that together we're building a sustainable future for our sport. This is a very important direction, and it's not because we're using V8, 6 cylinders, and V10 engines that we don't want to be sustainable, and then we cannot be sustainable, because out of the survey, important survey we made with the British agency Futera to calculate our emission, we realized that only 5% of the emissions, depending on the championship, 3 to 5% of the emissions are generated by the car themselves. Everything, most of it, is about logistic, about team operation. So at the end of the day, if you operate electric cars, but you go with air freighters in zigzag around the planet, your emissions are going to be a lot higher than a championship using traditional internal combustion engine, but doing as we do, having a global platform using local teams, which is the principle of both the Intercontinental GT Challenge and the Fanatec GT World Challenge. So we're working on this important environmental policy. We want to work on the events, we want to work with the teams, and we want to inspire our partner. It would be too long to go in details, but we're really going to work on these 3 sectors to reduce our emission over time, and what we can't reduce, we will offset it with a contribution for both our organization and from the teams. I have to say that the team's response to our environmental policy has been mixed. It has been fantastic from some countries, and I want to say that the British teams have all contributed and have all been really behind it, and it's more difficult in some other countries, and it's why for next year we really want to include the offset contribution as part of our entry fee. Like this, everybody will contribute to something which is essential. We have the chance of having a lot of partners, very important partners, and we feel that if we want to keep them going forward, the environmental policy is absolutely essential to our business. So what has been up and running this year? We will start with the Intercontinental GT Challenge, powered by Pirelli. It's been a difficult year simply because we couldn't run in Japan, we couldn't run in Australia, and so as you can see from the number of participating manufacturers, we went from 9 in 2020 to only 5 in 2021. It's still a very good participation, and we're very pleased about the commitment of the manufacturers, but we really hope that we will be able to put back more races on the calendar, and I'm pleased to announce that Bathurst, the 12 hours, which has been really the Intercontinental started between a link between Bathurst and Spa, and then other events have joined, and I'm very pleased to say that we are announcing a date for next year, 18-20 March in Bathurst. It's later than usual, but it should give teams more time to prepare, and of course the travel situation, it is improving in Australia, and we are very confident that it will be possible to travel to Australia by the end of March, and that is a very important event in our calendar. We won't go to Japan next year because there are still quite a lot of uncertainties about Asia, but Spa, of course, is confirmed. The Indianapolis 8 hours is confirmed, and I really want to salute the fantastic success we have with this event. Our ambition was to create the biggest GT race in America and was to create the only important race in America where a GT endurance race in America where a GT can win overall, and from jumping from 22 cars we had last year to 20 to 40, more than 40, I think we have 41 as of today, is the proof of our success in this very important event. And of course, we will finish with the Kyalami 9 hours in South Africa, where there again, our challenge was to develop local teams. Before last year, we came with only 12 cars, only European, and this year we'll probably achieve around the same number, but we also have 10 to 11 local cars that will be joining the race, where we're talking about environmental policy. That's what we need, local teams in each country. And I'd like to take this opportunity to ask Pirelli to come and give us a few words about their partnership with our company and our various championships all around the globe. Thank you, Matteo.
Hello? Yeah. Thank you, Stefan, and welcome to everybody. Thank you to be here. 2022 for us is an important milestone in our technology and product development because we are going to introduce a new family of products for GT3, GT4, and GT2, and they have all been designed following the same processes, the same technology. It's the first time that we use same materials for all the classes, and reliability has been improved, and consistency in the performance. This product as well, if you want to pass to the following next page, please. This product as well is a step in our strategy in sustainability that obviously started before than 2022, but it will be a journey that impacts our products, the factories, and our engagement. Our products, because we implement a lot of new technologies to use and to develop virtual development. So already for 2022, we reduced by 20% the production of prototypes. and by increasing the percentage of raw materials, renewable raw materials, that already they are like 20% in the tires, so targeting like 50% by 2025. Our factory will use renewable electricity 100% by 2025, and by 2030 we target to have carbon neutrality for our factory. And then, as last for today, our engagement with the team to commit to be able to recover all the used tires and, let's say, keep them, bring that home. We have many other projects. We are working with SRO. We will keep you updated. So, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Matteo. When I was telling you about the environmental effort, of course, with our partner, with Pirelli on the tire, which is a big part of our emissions, and also with Total Energy. I mean, the SEO is introducing already next year totally complete biofuel, reducing emission by 60%. There was not enough of it for us to get it as well, but it is understood we will have it from 2023. So we're progressing in the same direction for a more sustainable future. Next of our championship, which is the major one, is the Fanatec GT World Challenge powered by AWS. I know it's a long name, but it shows the importance and the support of important partners to this championship. It's a challenge. We can't compare it to WEC, which is a world championship as it stands. It's a challenge of customer racing among manufacturers. It hasn't been easy to convince the manufacturer to put their name on something where they're not directly involved, which is different from the Intercontinental, where the manufacturers are more behind the teams. But all these manufacturers have built important customer racing department, and it's a global challenge of, you know, do you have the best customer racing department? Have you sold cars all around the world to good teams, to good drivers, and you can compete on 4 continents? And it works, you can see it. We started with 2 manufacturers in 2019. We have 5 last year, and we have 7 this year. I think there is no better proof of success on the concept. We have proposing for that a completely global calendar, as you can see, of 29 events globally on 4 continents, and we really hope that all of them will be running next year. And to talk a bit more about the championship, I will call Thomas Jackermeier, the founder and CEO of Fanatec, on stage, and Kalim Brouadra, the CEO of the Rebellion Corporation, to tell us a few more words about the championship.
Thank you very much, Stefan. It's been a great pleasure to join the GT3 series, the Fanatec GT World Series powered by AWS this year. And I have to say it was quite an experiment what we did this year, but we wrote motorsport history, nothing less. The combination of e-sport and real sport, it worked out very well. We have seen fantastic races, intense racing, clean racing as well. I mean, people sweating after 1 hour. That was really exciting. Exciting to watch. I hopefully also exciting for the teams to participate. And yeah, I think also it was extremely well executed by SRO and AK and everybody else who was involved. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, so we've seen the future, and rest assured that we're going to stay with this for a very long time. We're very happy to be here.
Yeah, so yeah, really happy also to be here today and to have these few words to the challenge that you create, Stefan, and really appreciate the motorsport, you know it. I take the opportunity to thankful for your collaboration in these few years. What it was not easy with the pandemic, but we did it, and I'm really happy to find here a good atmosphere and a great team, very professional, and I'm I think it's the beginning of a long story, and really happy to meet Thomas Enzo with his spirit and mindset, and sure that we're going to have a strong synergies all together because we're sharing the same passion. And we are lucky today to have Pierre, so we wrote a long book, a story in your endurance together, and you are leading a fantastic Le Mans will still be always Le Mans, and I'm glad to see that Pierre and Stéphane all together in the same room. It makes me warm for my passion for the motorsport. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're going to look at the various platforms, the various challenges we have around the world. Quickly, the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, powered by AWS, is doing very well. We are pleased. As you could see, we were close to extinction last year, and we bounced back to a very credible grid. And we see in America the biggest potential for the expansion of GT3 racing, because if you compare the number of cars running in Europe and even in Asia with the number of cars running in America, America was underrepresented. And thanks to our effort, and I should be for each championship and series thanking all the managers, but I won't do it individually. But since Greg Gill, the president and CEO of SRO America, came here today, I really want to thank him for the effort and the result, because we have 4 championships in America, 4 series, and they're all running well. And that's thanks to your dedication and the dedication of your team. The calendar has been presented already. There is just a small change on VIR, that we have changed the race. Of course, not to clash with the 24 hours of Le Mans. So that is done. And that's about it for what concerns the GT World Challenge Fanatec in America. We have in Europe, same thing, the calendar has already presented. We are, of course, happy with the level of our grid. We had a very strong grid in sprint, a good, strong grid, not completely where it was in 2019, but still strong in endurance. The calendar is confirmed, it's as what we presented it. Only the test date is changed because of the Bathurst 12 hours. And we also have to finalize completely Monza. We are supposed to go back to Monza, but we're also looking at another opportunity also in Italy. So the main modification in the regulation of the championship in Europe is that the AM class, which vanished in itself, unfortunately we don't have any more AM class. I don't think it's a good sign, but the way it is, will be replaced by a new, we're going to call it the Gold Cup. And the Gold Cup is for a combination of a pro driver, a silver driver, and a bronze driver. That should avoid the request for derogation we have had all along, and which have been really tiring for the championship. I will explain a bit more about that later. Also, the pro class in sprint will be limited. We no longer want to have 2 platinum drivers in sprint. We will be limiting to 1 platinum and a gold. And also about driver categorization, I will tell you a little bit more about it. We also have lots of conversation about testing, and many teams said, why do you do free testing, paid test, when in fact we don't have enough tires during the free practice we have here on the track? So what we decided is to give more tires for the free practice, so teams can fully use the track time they have during free practice. And for the paid test that we will maintain, maybe a bit less than we had this year, we will limit the number of tires during the paid test. We also always want to work on the team budget and avoid the inflation, even if by talking to Pirelli, we know that in fact the testing is done primarily before the season, and that's where the difference between the big team and the smaller team is the most evident. The larger teams test a lot before the season. Also, we are very pleased our collaboration with 3D. We worked all year to manage this track limit system, and I think we can say this weekend it's operational, we're having no more problem, and next year we will introduce officially in the sporting regulation in the championship the use of the automated track limit control, its GPS centimetric positioning, and finally, the huge headache of track limit will be away. And you know, for GT racing, which is based on balance of performance, to use the limits of the track and to make the difference between the cars that are easily jumping the track limit and the one that don't has been a recurring problem for years. So we're very, very, very pleased to solve that. And also, and that's a very important point, we have embarked into a revision of the driver categorization system, which has also suffered the last number of years. Simply before, I'm in a nutshell going to explain you. We created the driver categorization system when we introduced the GT3 European Championship back in 2006. At the time, it was an amateur championship. The bronze driver were real gentleman drivers, and the silver driver were the young drivers. But the young driver were very often the sons of the gentleman driver, and most of them, the large majority, almost all of them, didn't have any karting or single-seater experience. They were coming into racing with coming into GT. But progressively, this became more and more professional. And at the end, what we're having today, we're having two classes, gold and platinum, for the same type of drivers, to see the difference between a pro, which is platinum, or a pro, which is gold. There is basically no difference. But behind these two classes, which are basically underrepresented, you have a very, very large class of the silver drivers. And whatever you do in any sport, if you start skiing, tennis, or anything, when you are 6 years old, 8 years old, or if you start when you're 20-year-old, you're not going to be at the same level. And it's about time that we divide the silver class between one class, which is silver, for the silvers of the beginnings, which are the very, very good gentleman drivers, and which are the young drivers that come to GT with very limited prior experience, and that gold become the category for all the young drivers that have started racing when they were young, that have gone through the rank of karting, single-seater, and arrive in GT with a view to become professional. Something we didn't have, because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, no young drivers wanting to become a GT racing driver. They wanted to do single-seater, they wanted to go prototype, and they were not thinking of GT racing. So it's about time that we correct the system, and for us, all the fast bronze drivers have to become silver, all the fast silver drivers have to become gold, and all the gold drivers, which are in fact as fast as platinum, have to be platinum. So that's the proposition we've put forward to FIA. That's a bit long to look at, but that's basically what we want to do. But we know the way FIA operate, and we're sure it's not something which is going to be done for next year. So since we can't wait until 2023, we will do we will do an intermediate transition in 2022. So we're transmitting to FIA our list of driver, which we believe the bronze that need to be silver, the silver that need to be gold, and the gold that need to be platinum. We hope that the FIA committee will follow our regulations. If they don't, us as SRO, we will give them an upgrade. We call it double star upgrade. So instead of downgrading driver, we will upgrade drivers. And because we want the driver to have a possibility to appeal if they're not happy about it, they will be given the opportunity to appeal, and we're going to have a championship committee made of the representative of the 7 teams which are participated the longest in the championship. And looking at it, it's good because we have a British, we have a German, we have a Belgium, we have a French, we have an Italian, so it's all looking quite fair. and then they will be able to judge, so it won't be on us always the responsibility. So you will be, the final criteria will be done by the team themselves, which we believe it's a right way forward. Then we have, Now, quickly talking about our other series, GT4, which has been a very strong success this year. With the pandemic last year, it went down to 18 cars. It bounced back to 42 in average. So a huge success for the GT4 European Series. British GT also has suffered a little bit. I would say it's a combination of Brexit and pandemic, but all the signs are it should come back to this traditional success with a grid made of GT3 and GT4 cars. We're not introducing any modification in British GT. It's a traditional and very well-running championship. The French championship, also a big success, very steady, very good, very competitive, and we are, like for the European, working on new tire regulation, but that will be given in more details to the teams. GT4 in America, also a very strong team grid and our strongest category in America. TC, also a successful season, nothing more to say about it. GT America, powered by AWS, a brilliant idea of Mr. Gill, who said, you know what, we should go back to the traditional roots of the championship, because let's not forget that World Challenge was initially a touring car championship, and it was a sprint championship, very sprint, with only one driver. And he said we should do that only for ARM drivers, mixing GT3, GT2, GT4, and it's been, from the start, a very good success with 23 cars in average, so we're very happy with it. Something else which has nothing to do with racing, but you will understand that it's something also important for us, for our future project, is our Total Look Rally. We revived the 80s, starting from the Place Vendôme in Paris, and it's been a great success this year. We had a tremendous fun. All the participants were very, very pleased, and now we're working on more development, and we're proposing the participants and the many more that want to join now, because we really had a fantastic return about it. We're proposing them to choose between a Dolce Vita rally starting from Rome, a Flower Power rally starting from Saint-Tropez, or a 90s, generation 90s rally in the French Alps, probably started from Geneva. The concept is simple. You enter a time. It's a travel to a time capsule, and you are projected to the 80s or to the 60s with the music, the car, the attire, the hairstyle, and everything. Completely, you go to another time. So we believe this is going to be something successful in the SRO operation going forward. So what we couldn't do, and what we have introduced, because we're always full of projects, so we introduced new categories, new championships in 2021. The first, probably the most groundbreaking, is this Fanatec partnership. It's to join in one series before the Fanatec GT World Challenge, powered by AWS, was made of an Endurance Cup and a Sprint Cup. Now it's made of an Endurance Cup, a Sprint Cup, and a Digital Cup. You have it here in the Fanatec Arena. And I have to say, the first race at Monza, I was sitting here, and there was a big mishmash at the start, and I was like, it doesn't really look like real racing, and it might become difficult. But the reality is that race after race, it became more and more professional. The teams and the driver got serious about it, and the last race yesterday is just like racing. And I was very pleased to see on the podium Dries Vanthoor, to see on the podium Raffaele Marcello, which are the best on that side of the paddock, and here as well. And the competition is just great. Now the next step is to bring more together the real racing and the virtual racing, and we want at Spa to bring professional sim drivers and what we call silver driver that are going to be selected through our global sim racing competition, and to do teams that will compete together at the 24 Hours of Spa. But that will be different. The teams don't have to worry. They won't have to pay pro drivers because only the parts related to the drivers of the championship will be taken into account. Also, we want the teams. At the moment, we were only awarding points for the first 3, and we want more because many drivers are putting a lot of effort, and if you finish 4th and you don't have any point, it's a bit demotivating. So we want to give points from 5th position from the 1st position to the 5th position to get everybody more engaged. Also something new, believe it or not, but in the heart of the pandemic, we were awarded with our Australian partner, ARG, the promotion of the Australian GT Championship that we've put under the banner of the Fanatec GT World Challenge powered by AWS. I don't know if it's the prestige of our partners or it's, the knowledge of SRO, but really, and of course, the capacity of the local promoter, but it has been a very promising start. Unfortunately, after the summer, their winter, which is our summer, 2 of the 3 remaining events had to be cancelled, but we are very confident. It's why we can't really announce for the moment the calendar for next year, which was also depending on the date of the Bathurst 12 Hours. So now that we have a date for the Bathurst 12 Hours, the local GT can be built around it, and we're looking forward to a great success next year. And also of a new category, we've been working on it for a couple of years, but also with the pandemic it had to be delayed. But finally we started it, our Fanatec GT2 European Series, with great new cars which are more powerful than the GT3, with less downforce, a championship really made for the true and a bit older gentleman drivers. I'm one of them. And we were very pleased at the last race at Paul Ricard, we had 16 cars. The introduction of the new Brabham BT, great looking, great sounding Brabham BT 43. And for next year, we're expanding the calendar to 6 events, with only the 5 best counting, all of them with our platform, and one of them visiting with the ADAC GT Master, which is a championship, as you know, which is very close to SRO. Also imported from America, with a great idea from Laurent Godin, a concept of cost-effective local touring cars, and we reintroduced the Touring Car Championship in France with more than 20 cars in average from the first year. So here is another success. Last one is the GT1 Sports Club, one of my old dreams. I think when it comes to GT racing, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and many people tell me, but why you don't call the GT3 now, they are the GT1? No, they're not the GT1. I understand GT racing like you have at the top the hypercars. I'm sorry to use the word hypercar, I should say it's not the supercar, the ultra car. Let's call them ultra cars. So at the top you have these ultra cars, and we know where they are. They are the Ferrari FXXK, they are the Lamborghini incredible SCV12, they are the McLaren Senna GT-R, they are the Porsche 935, all these crazy cars that are being built by manufacturers, but you can't do anything with them. You have one, okay, you can look at it, you can put it in a vault because it's likely to appreciate in value, but we think that their real environment, because they're not even registered for the road, so their real environment is over there on the track, and our ambition is to put them together, and we managed here to do it with 12 of this incredible car. It has never been done, so I'm sure you will enjoy both the sight of the sound of these cars in just an hour or so. And so going forward, we don't want to do many events. Our ambition is to do 2 next year, then 1 in the winter in America, and then one day maybe go with the Middle East, because when we get enough participants in this club, we can do anything and go anywhere. So now what we couldn't do this year, and we had to delay to 2022, there is Asia. Asia, Benjamin is at the moment, you know, our Asia manager, Benjamin Franasovici, is at the moment in quarantine in an hotel in Hong Kong. I'm not sure he has a window, but he's there for 21 days, so he has to be brave to go through that. But we really want to be also always cautious, but we believe that we should be able to restart the championship. We're being conservative. We want to start in Japan in the summer, in Suzuka in July, followed the following weekend by Fuji, then go to Buriram, to Sepang, and hopefully, if the country reopens, to travel to China. If the situation improves quicker than expected, then we have a possibility to go to Sepang in May. It's a bit of wait and see, but you know, Asia was our success. We started from nothing, and we had one of the best GT3 grid in the world when it stopped. So we are really pushing for it to restart. And when we wanted to do Macau, we immediately had 27 entries. So we know the teams are there, they're sleeping, but they're ready to restart as soon as the whole thing can restart. Same thing for the FIA Motorsport game. I spoke about it. Wanted to go to Paul Ricard in 2020, we couldn't do it. Wanted to go to 2021, couldn't do it. We're going next year. We want to go to the same place. We want to do the opening ceremony in Marseille, and we're jumping from the 6 categories we had in Rome to 18 categories with rally, with track racing, with cross car. So a complete overview of motorsport, and we really believe that it will be a huge success when it will finally restart with teams and drivers, with drivers coming from all around the world. Also Macau, it was really upsetting we couldn't do it this year, but now we're confident that in November next year it will be back on the calendar. And the last point is the almost last point. Our 30 years of GT racing. We wanted this year to do 15 years of GT3 with a race at Monza, but with a restriction, we still had a number of people allowed in the paddock. We couldn't do it. So we said, okay, if we don't do 15 years of GT3 racing, we can do 30 years of GT. We celebrated our 25 years at the Paris Stock Exchange a couple of years ago. We didn't want it to do the same thing. So we worked together with my old friend Patrick Peter to do a special race that will be the 30 years of GT racing race at the opening of the Total Energy 24 Hours of Spa this year with a massive grid, and we will invite all the participants and key people that participated in the last 30 years to a dinner we will give on Thursday night. Our last project that we had to delay, but it's probably one of the most important for SRO, and it's the one we also work indirectly by organizing rallies like the Vendôme 80s, is our GTX World Tour. You know the concept is for manufacturer. We want to provide visibility by bringing these cars to the center of important cities in Europe, 7 important cities over a week. We want to provide efficiency by these cars to go, their consumption being measured from city to city around the normal route. And we want also to provide competition, because it's not only a tourist rally and you stop at racetrack, at hill climb, with rally stage around the road. The ultimate goal is to have customers. It is customer racing, but of course we need to start it with the manufacturers. We talked to a good number of them. Everybody is very enthusiastic when we present the project, but from enthusiasm to commitment, that's what we need to do, and it will be our priority as soon as our busy 2021 season is behind us. But we really believe in the concept, and we were going to work very hard on it. Thank you very much, and see you. That's why we have this picture in Indianapolis next week. That was a picture taken last year, and this year will be with even more cars for a very high-level competition. Thank you very much for your attention, and now we're going to run to the GT4 grid. Thank you.